Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Emerald Coast. We are toward the end of early spring, day 3 of early spring, and we are going to run down to the pig farm. Got a field down there that we're going to put sugar beets in, and we need to cultivate that field. Plowed it quite a while ago, and just kind of let it sit. Need to get that field worked up, get the big divots, I guess, busted up, get a nice smooth bed for the cedar. That way we can come in maybe later today, depending on how long this takes, and put some sugar beets in the ground. I was saying the other day that we had a lot of sugar beets donated to us by a area farmer, so that will cover our production of pre-compost, and then of course the eventual fermentation into compost for this year. So we're planting the sugar beets, so we'll be able to basically do that next year, over the winter or next spring. When we come up here, let's take a look again at our poplar field. I think that is just about ready. We might be in a position to be chipping some poplar here in mid or late spring. We'll just have to see how that all works out. Did go ahead and got that other field of corn planted. So our 2 cornfields are planted. It's probably the only corn we're going to put in the ground today or this year. And we've got field 4 up behind the horse pasture. Again, I mentioned that I thought we were probably going to put that field into cotton. And then we've got 4 fields down here by the pig farm. I think we're just going to go ahead and put into cotton, so that we'll have a decent cotton harvest this fall. Cotton paid out pretty darn good last year, so we might as well keep that money rolling in, especially if we are going to expand our land ownership here at some point. Here's our field of poplar. We've yet to be able to chip that. Didn't chip it at all last year for some unknown reason. It just didn't come up. So we did have a bit of rain yesterday. So hopefully the ground won't be too terrible wet down here. Those beef cattle are doing, they look pretty darn good down here. These 2 fields over here to our left, they'll be in cotton this year. This field right below it, it's going to be in cotton. Then the big field that is on the other side of the pigs over there, that's going to be in cotton. This is how we're going to basically get to our sugar beet field. One here beside the root bins. See, we still have it still plowed. I think what we'll do is we're going to make a couple passes around the field. And then we'll start making our up and downs. I know technically that is backwards, but well, we are the epitome of doing it realistic-ish. It's close enough. to satisfy my needs. Really like this little disc. Doesn't require a lot of horsepower from the mod hub. Kind of bounces around a little bit much maybe, but works. It's a decent size. It's not too big. It's not ungodly big, unrealistically big. And I think for lots of the fields that we have here on the Emerald Coast, I think this size disc would be appropriate for the farmer. Overall, I don't see them using a huge disc, simply because they'd be done way too soon, given how long things typically take. Size disc, this field probably with 10x speed, we're probably talking about it taking most of the day. We probably won't be done until mid-afternoon. This tractor does have guided steering, so let's go ahead and get that turned on. Set up. A locker in. Like I said, we're going to do one more around pass. Start doing our ups and downs, ups and downs. I hope everybody had a really great 4-day weekend that had that has that luxury. It is Cyber Monday. In the comments, give it in to the big Cyber Monday hype. Are you ordering a bunch of stuff today? Don't need to tell me what you're ordering. Let me know. Are you ordering a bunch of stuff, or did you do all that last week? Kind of guys or gals that have literally completed your Christmas shopping before or right after Thanksgiving? Or are you kind of the guy or gal that, well, you go Christmas shopping when the bug hits you. Sometimes the bug doesn't hit you for a while. Sometimes it seems like my wife, sometimes it seems like she's got her Christmas shopping done for some folks back in July. Tell you, when she does that, that's kind of nice on the good old wallet, for sure. Definitely see the multi-terrain angles on this map when it comes to plowing. It's really nice to see. It's super noticeable when you are on a farm and on a map that doesn't have that installed. Because basically then your plow marks are, one of two different directions or angles. Multi-terrain angle, you have, well, multiple angles to the point where you could almost plow in a circle. See the furrows, that's what I was trying to remember earlier. You see the furrows actually draw in a near circle. like I said, it's not going to take too terrible long to get this field hammered out. Might actually get the sugar beets in the ground today. A day earlier than anticipated. No super rush. Get them in the ground because the only thing left to plant is cotton. And we need to get to 61-degree ground temp to do cotton. Let's go ahead and take a look. See, we got to get 61-degree ground temp for cotton. We can put cotton in the ground all the way up until the end of midsummer. Sugar beets, we just need 41 degrees, and we have until the end of mid-spring to get that in the ground. So that is the deadline. Cotton can wait. No big rush on that. So I was a little quick picking the disc up there. Go. So let me know in the comments who is also playing Emerald Coast. Who's playing Emerald Coast version 3 with the mud? What do you think of the mud? Is it your friend, or have you had enough of the mud already? I can tell you, I was not the biggest fan of the mud in 17. That was before the dynamic mud came to be. That was when we had normal mud. You know, the perpetual muddy ground. I was not a huge fan of it. In fact, on one map that I played, Churn Farm. One map I played, Churn Farm, I disabled the mud because it was just a bit too obnoxious. That's what I'm trying to think. A bit too obnoxious. But so far the mud on Emerald Coast hasn't been that terrible bad. Only just about got stuck once, so it's not too terrible bad. With it basically working with seasons, and the drier the ground is, the less mud you're going to see. Depending on your year, mud might be not that invasive for you, whereas other years it might be a bit more invasive. Look at our forecast. Today we got good skies. Tomorrow we got fairly good skies. Chance of rain, pretty good chance of rain sometime tomorrow, maybe midday. Just have to wait and see how that works out. Hope you guys liked the little preview at the end of last Friday's video, where we kind of showed a bit of a video montage of the construction of the BGA. We started with the cleared land. We didn't get a video of the trees before we cleared it, but we got the cleared land, and then we got several key stages in the construction project. Captured on video with a drone. I hope you like that. If you didn't catch it, then go back and look at Friday's video toward the end. Probably the last two and a half minutes of the video is that video montage of BGA construction. Probably be open to visitors. Take a bit of a walkthrough or drive-through here in maybe the end of the week, maybe early next week. Just have to wait and see. We're getting to the short part of this field at this point, where each pass will steadily become shorter and shorter. Nice to see. We're going to be done well before my initial estimate of sometime this afternoon. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish this field up, and then I'll bring you guys back here in a little bit, because I think what we might do is haul some sugar beets down to the Razwood factory. That way that they have some sugar beets on hand to get that started to prepare. We'll need to bring some manure down. Probably do that in the next one. We'll haul some manure down to the Razwood factory, and at that point we'll probably let the Razwood factory sit for a while as we kind of gauge our burn rate on our straw. See if we feel we have enough straw on hand to bring some down to the Razwood factory, or if we think we need to keep that straw on hand and then basically wait until we have a harvest, which should be, looking at the schedule, should be able to harvest our wheat or barley as early summer. That would be pretty interesting. We're not too far away from straw, if that really comes to fruition. Like I said, let me put this down. It's going to get a lot busier now that we are coming to the short side of the field, and I'll pick you guys up here in a little bit. Alright, so should I go with a Sprite or a Nestea iced tea? Then I got, what, Mountain Dew or 7-Up. Then, you know, there's always the Monster energy drink. Let's see here, what do I need? I think I'm just going to go with a Fanta. Some orange soda. Alright. I took our first load of sugar beets down here, and I realized that I was getting kind of parched. Swing in here to Dollar General. Need a little bit of a drink. So we're going to be probably driving in the tractor for most of the afternoon. Just making trips up and down the road here. Hauling those sugar beets. Went ahead and put our 4-ways on. Got our beacon up and running. Be completely visible. All of these jokers. Yeah, hopefully this is just midday traffic. We're not going to have to fight traffic all afternoon. That would be pretty much of a bummer if we had to fight traffic all afternoon. Some case we left there. This was already hooked up to the trailer. Thought we might as well. Full load of sugar beets. Does have a fair bit of weight. . Oh. Watch yourselves. Let's film. Let's squeeze through here. See our pile. But not a super huge pile in this particular shed. A little bit bigger pile in here. We just kind of spread it out as opposed to trying to pile it all up in one building. Climb over our wheel there. $25 tons of beets. Get quite heavy, so we want to make sure we got a good tractor, sizable tractor with good front weight. That is an awful lot of weight on the drawbar back there. But what it said? It said the readout said we had what, 200 tons of sugar beets in that one silo. So at 25 tons, that is probably about 9 trips? 9 and apart. Not going to be 10 full trips, but it's going to be pretty close. 10 full trips just for that one silo. So we got, like I said, we got a lot of hauling ahead of us this afternoon. I probably won't keep you in for all of it because, well, that would just use up all of my memory on the camera. The editors and the producers, they'd probably be like, what on earth are you doing? Sending us 5 hours of you driving up and down a road. I know, I can't talk for 5 straight hours. I'd run out of stuff to talk about, so just make a couple runs here. Give you guys the gist of what's going on. Take care of the rest of this. It's a little tight getting in here. Gotta push these bushes down a bit. Nope. Can exit around the back. Might go that way this time. I wouldn't think it would be quicker, but you know what? It might be with these slow Sunday drivers. Right. Let's see. Maybe we got a load of pre-compost. We can go ahead and start hauling. I think they said that they had some leftover bits. They said they had some leftover straw and everything. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. I'll go ahead and haul a couple loads of pre-compost back up here to the production facility. At least make the round trip worth it. These two fields of ours, I think they have wheat in them. Wheat or barley, one of the two. Same with this field over here to our right. It's got wheat or barley in it. I think wheat. Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I think it's got wheat. And then this field here right in front of us, it's going to be the one. It's going to be our biggest cotton field this year. think it had cotton in it last year, but well, we're just gonna have to double crop cotton. Not gonna be able to do much about that. Sneak up along this guy's field. Ways. Go ahead and put our pre-compost in here. Spread on that. I think fighting the traffic just one way, that'll be that won't be too terrible bad. This will be load 3, I think. Yep, loading up the beets. Probably gonna put some slurry on that field that we just got done cultivating. Probably do that before we put the sugar beets in the ground. Give the sugar beets a nice fertile bed to start growing in. Might kickstart the growth a bit. Never know. Seeing that house over there in construction reminded me that we do have some news about Daryl's house. He has come to an agreement with the insurance company as to what they're going to basically cover, settle. They didn't quite agree on the value of all of the possessions inside the house, but it's okay. I think maybe Daryl had maybe over exaggerated some of the prices on that anyway. Yeah. Alright guys, so I think that is going to do us for the day. Once again, I want to thank you for coming out and watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the rebirth, the return to Emerald Coast 2019, our 10-year journey. Wasn't intentionally or originally going to take us through 2 versions of Farm Sim. But we didn't quite get very far in our 10-year journey before Farm Sim 19 got released. At that point, I really couldn't bring myself to do Farm Sim 17 and 19 content. Looks like I went the wrong way. So we just kind of tabled Emerald Coast until it was ready for 19. Now we have a new iteration of Emerald Coast here with mud. Just kicking up the mud there. Tires sinking down in a little bit. Do need to be a bit careful because mud does impact traction. Want that trailer to be whipping around or anything. Alright, so until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.